Okay, my friends, here it is. Once again, if you have seen Typhon and the fish in the desert 20 or 30 times probably already, I will actually have probably a little more to add on this one. Every time I do it, I find something else that I didn't consider before. And then I relate it to some text that I hadn't considered before. So let's just get started. Okay. Just take your time slowly. This is what they did. They changed themselves into animals. That's a fish. It comes up, there's the fin. The tail is back here. And it comes up like this. Now, that is a fish. Now, it was being attacked by Typhon, who was the dragon. And they described what Typhon was like. Now don't forget, this is the fish. This is the scales of the fish. This is the tail. And it comes up around here like this. And that's the belly of the fish. That's the upper fin. Now, he's spitting down something. And when they say he, you say, who is he? Well, he is he. The wind was flapping all of his unkempt feathers or whatever they are. That right there is his red flared eye. And I mean, I can't not explain why it is so perfectly like I painted onto the desert. It's kind of crazy, I have to admit, but it is what it is, and we see what it is. He spit a great jet of fire, and I'm telling you right now, that is nothing but the nastiest nasty. And that came right out of his throat. And we're going to see his throat because it got cut by Zeus with his great and mighty sword. Now, all of that stuff came out from his throat. Right here, a great jet all the way down onto the fish. Not only did it hit the fish, it dissolved the fish's scales. And you can see all the way down into the veins, the arteries, the blood vessels. They get tinier and tinier until they filter all right into the capillaries, and then into the veins. And you can even see the lymph ducts in here. This is right down to the biology that's underneath the scales. So that venom has attacked this fish down to here. They're both laying here. They appear to be dead. They say deathless. Well, what does that exactly mean? The spirit went somewhere, or they're going to get up one of these days? Well, I don't know. That right there is the dragon's head, and this whole thing is his throat. And here's his body. Remember this, the thighs? These are the thighs. Here he comes down, his head. Spit out the great jet of fire. And when I say fire, I'm not kidding you. That's fire. I cannot explain how can it look so. It's like somebody came up here and painted it with a paintbrush. Look at that. But it's exactly what it says. And that's exactly what it is. Now, all unkempt and floppy and so forth, they're coming off of here, yes. You see it? Now, what's coming back here, I don't know. Zeus cut a whole batch of stuff off him, they said. But let's just take his head. Here it is right here. It runs all the way down. That's the floppy looking, fluty looking stuff you see on the parades in China and places like that where they have the dragon, big long neck dragons, they come, well, that's him. This is the throat. and that's where he got cut. Now, I think I might have even gone through this, but it doesn't seem to penetrate anybody's mind. I know the astronauts are up there looking at this stuff. Think they can't see this? It's impossible. They should comment on this. We're paying those astronauts. Can't they see this stuff? You see that? This is the Dragon River. These are dragon scales. They're all hinged so it can twist and do all that kind of stuff. And he runs, just like Apollodorus said. When he was standing up, he could brush the stars, basically. And all the way down here, and this is where his throat got cut. You see, all the way down here. Now, it said he was lashed out in a bunch of areas, and the final blow was a cut to the throat, which it is. The black is the vein blood, the red is artery blood. That's just staggering amount of flow. And it's killed him. All the rest is just runoff of a decaying body, basically. Now, we go all the way down his throat, because it continues even though it's been cut. You see it? And it comes down right towards his stomach. And then it ends up going into his stomach, which is right down in this area. Now, up in here, I don't know, you have to dig around and see what you can find. But I'm convinced this is him, Typhon, attacking the fish, Ares. They talk about it very clearly. And he fits exactly the picture. And his thighs of human shape. And down here, all of this, you see that? You go talk to somebody that knows about leather, about ostrich hide and skin. Because that is it, my friends. That is not termite mounds or erosion or whatever. That is the little spots in skin. These are the little anchors to anchor skin into the body. That is not just your average erosion. You see that? Right there, that's a little button that lacks that, and your skin can do all that kind of stuff. Well, the hide. See? That's what anchors them. So that is the hide that made up the coils that they talked about, running all the way up from here. That's way out to here. And the same thing on this side, way down to here. Now that's in Apollodorus. It's exactly what there's no difference whatsoever. And his tail goes way out here. And he got whacked out here too because there's some bleeding. You see this? That's a cut right across there. This is transition metal blood. That's a cut. And that's because it said that he got whacked in a bunch of places. But this is his tail. See? And that, you need something pretty tough to make a cut through a tail that tough looking. And the tail continues on way out to here. That's where it's like feathers or something. And if you look, you can even see the cloaca and all that stuff. Right back here where he poops. That's why it's so fertile in this area. See? I guess that would be what you call a colon. Coming out of the gut. And it's just right in his butt area. That's it. That's all they were showing you there. It's way beyond incredible, but if we could discuss what is here, talk about it. I don't see how it can be dismissed as just being pareidolia. The only way you can dismiss it is with PhDolia. Because Typhon is there, the fish is there, the story is there. What can I say? What's there is there. And not only did Hesiod have that story, Apollodorus had this. Well, Apollodorus, I just read the Apollodorus. They all had the same story. And as far as I can see, it's there. Now, not only that, like I said, we know more about this now because we know that this guy had a dragon head. He didn't have a human head. They were showing him with a human head. And this goes way back to Greek times. They show him with a dragon. I mean, what do you call them? Tentacles. But they show the rest of him being human. That's just not the way it is. He was dragging all the way up, and all he had was two little human thighs. And they also exactly what it says in the text. They never said he was human-headed. They never said anything about that. So.